Hello.
How's it going?
Oh, now let's talk about this.
Where a family of superheroes are going to help save the world.
A lot of families have a hard time finding stuff to do together, but not the Meeks family. No, they decided to kill people.
Huh?
This is Frailty.
I love small towns.
So this guy Fenton Meeks goes to the FBI to help them with this famous case. And then they leave him alone in a room full of evidence for a really long time until the agent in charge shows up.
Just doesn't happen that way.
He tells Agent Doyle that he got a call from his brother Adam saying that demons were taking over the world.
I can't destroy them all.
Can't never could do anything.
And then he shot himself. Doyle believes him when he finds out that Fenton stole Adam's body and an ambulance and drove all the way to Dallas to see him.
Just stop the bullshit and tell me the truth.
He tells him how everything started when they were kids and everything was like this Norman Rockwell painting. Until his dad had a vision from his bowling trophy.
I saw him. I really did see him. Well, he even tried to polish my shoes.
Apparently, the devil released demons on Earth, and their family's been chosen to kill him.
Maybe you're not right in the head.
It's true.
The next day, his dad's acting like everything is normal, so he thinks it was just a bad dream.
Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you?
What's wrong with you?
Why am I the only person that has that dream?
But then his dad's like, "Don't tell anybody we're demon slayers. Bye." That night, his dad's driving home, and he sees the sun shining on a barn. So he thinks it's God telling him to steal this axe and gloves from the farmer because they must be magical demon hunting tools.
Isn't stealing against their religion?
Yeah, it's on like the top 10 list of things you don't do. But I guess since an angel told him to do it, it's okay.
But God has willed this, and we must obey God.
A few days later, he comes home with a pipe and says that the angel told him he'd get a list of demons to kill soon. When the angel comes back, he tells him some names and then goes away.
It's Del Rio? Alright, I got it. Del Rio. How do you spell Del Rio?
So he knocks this lady out with a pipe.
Man, I'd do anything to really see her tits.
And kidnaps her with the gloves on. And when he touches her with his bare hands, that's when he can see her true demon form.
So he hit her with a pipe and kidnapped her, and then made sure she was a demon?
Yeah. But the list came from an angel, so it has to be right.
What if there's more than one?
Sarah Connor?
Yes.
Shut up. There's no way the list could be wrong.
Pick up 2 yards from Schneider and a gram from Capoli, right?
No. 2 yards from Capoli and a gram from Schneider.
So the kids wake up to see that their dad is bringing the lady into the shed.
Ain't she a beaut?
And he tells them to come in and watch him chop up the lady.
I want to see it again.
They then bury her in the rose garden by their house as a family.
We didn't mind, though. We didn't need anybody else.
Agent Doyle assumes the rest of his victims are in the rose garden too, so they head 200 miles away in the rain to go dig up some bodies that might not be there at midnight. And instead of calling the local cops for backup or just asking another agent to tag along, he just stupidly asks Fenton to handcuff himself.
I don't really give a fuck.
He tells Doyle that after a month, his dad came home with this kidnapper van, and they go after this little old man. They drag him into the shed and tie him up, and then his dad pulls the window shade.
But what if someone sees us?
They won't. I told you. God will blind them for us.
Fenton tries to convince Adam that they need to run away, but he tells his dad on him.
I'm telling Dad on you.
But his dad is more upset that he called him a murderer than he was going to run away. He thinks he doesn't have faith, so he makes him dig a hole until he finds it.
Forget it. We're not going to find it.
You can too find it. You just gotta believe.
I'm so sick of your magic and your stupid fantasies.
You've lost your faith.
Here, look. I believe. I believe.
He also tells Fenton that the angel thinks that he's a demon, but he has to be wrong about Fenton, and his faith will change that.
Because together, you and I are going to prove him wrong.
So if he thinks that the angel can be wrong about the people he's supposed to kill, why does he keep killing them?
He's doing the Lord's work, Lori. You can't argue with a religious nutjob.
They're fanatics. Religious nutjobs, Inquisition, witch hunts, that was them.
But if you think about it, Fenton was the good kid. He's the one who picked up all the chores, he made sure that Adam was taken care of, he actually cooked for his family. And he really wanted to leave the situation, but he wouldn't do it without his brother going with him. So yeah, obviously a demon. So the hole in the ground is transformed into a nifty murder dungeon. And then they try it out the next night, where he makes his son, that's already having a hard enough time coping with all this, be the one that slays the demon. But Fenton runs off to the cops instead. Well, the sheriff doesn't believe him.
Why would he make up such a crazy story?
but his dad still kills him and cries about how he's now a murderer.
I never killed a man before tonight.
Hey, I think this guy's a couple cans short of a six-pack.
He punishes Fenton by almost murdering him, but decides to lock him in the murder dungeon instead. He won't give him any food, and he's only allowed a glass of water every day for a week.
Why would he starve him?
Well, this is something a lot of religions actually do. You see, when you don't have enough food or water for a long period of time, you start seeing things that aren't there. Then the religion convinces you that it's a message from God, but they just call it fasting instead of starving. So his dad comes back in a week to check on him, but since he hasn't broken him yet, he locks him back in, still not giving him any food. Surely he'll have a vision from God this time, or at least, if he starves to death, his dad can pretend he didn't kill him. But eventually, Adam can't get Fenton to wake up, so now their dad is worried about him and wants to make sure he's okay. But Fenton tells him that he saw God, and everything's okay now, except for Adam is now super jealous of his brother, who's just been tortured.
It's not fair. All I've seen are demons, and he gets to see God.
And apparently the angel was willing to let them just put off demon slaying for a while Fenton finds Jesus to regain his strength. They go after another demon, where his dad gives him a pair of gloves he bought at Home Depot, even though the other ones were apparently delivered from God. But I guess the ones from the hardware store work just fine.
You know nothing of the gods.
His dad has a proud father moment seeing his son holding the axe.
I've been waiting for this moment ever since all this started.
And then Fenton plunges it into his chest.
I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart.
So now their dad is dead, and they just have some random dude tied up in their dungeon. But Adam takes care of him.
I think you would have given your father a run for his money. And that is saying something.
Fenton and Agent Doyle pull up to the rose garden that no one apparently takes care of anymore, and he admits to being Adam. He also tells them that they were split up, and that Fenton became a murderer. I don't know why. It's not like he had any childhood trauma.
But I had to wait till God put him on my list. To come before that would have been murder.
Family reunion, yay!
And then shows Doyle where he does a crappy job of hiding the demons that he destroys. He also tells him that he's next on his list for killing his mom. The next morning, they find out that none of the surveillance cameras worked, and they raid the real Fenton's place, where they made it look like Agent Doyle was one of his victims.
You ought to be ashamed making up stories like that.
Agent Hall goes to see Adam, who's the sheriff, to let him know that Fenton's killed his boss, but doesn't recognize him because of the power of Jesus.
So the bowling trophy angel was real?
Sometimes truth defies reason.
That's a pretty wild story, Mr. Meeks.
But it's true.
Why haven't you subscribed yet?
What's your problem? Well, good night then. Sleep tight.
Don't let those bed bugs bite.
That's right.
Get out of here!